Welcome to Real Flix Reviews, like a book club for people late reading. This month we're doing movie shorts, so it's James's pick this time. We're doing movie news. And we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens.
And the old guy's here, and Ryan Preston is not.
So this is James's pick, so James, you're up.
I think James had a theme.
Okay, so I'm going to start with Paradox.
Paradox.
And this one, I don't really like the long-winded explanation of the first thing. I'm just going to read the tagline. Two men stranded at the bottom of a well appear to be from different periods in time. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I wanted to use this one because this one won quite a bit of awards.
I saw that.
For the shorts, pulling up what they got.
And I was trying to figure out why.
Well, this
Special Jury Award.
Yeah.
And then special best short film, and another special jury award as well. One for Houston and one in Malibu International.
I was hoping, because this kind of at the beginning kind of had maybe an Edgar Allan Poe kind of
Exactly,
vibe
that's
to it.
kind of what you had, yeah.
And I was hoping it would go farther, and then it got to the end, and it was just kind of like...
Well, yeah, I mean, you went from what you thought were kind of like gothic scenes with the guy, and then
the way they had the basically the sky.
Yeah.
From the well.
And the brick going up, and the guys, what were these wounds on them? At one point, they looked like they were metallic.
I think he just must have hit things on the way down. That's really
I was weird. I couldn't figure that one out.
I was vaguely hoping that, and this is reading way too much into a 20-minute short, so got to warn you on that one, that maybe the paradox was because somehow they were both from different time periods, and they come up, and it was kind of a Doctor Who-esque, and they're another universe type of thing. Like I said, I read way too much into the ending, just kind of hoping instead of realizing they're both kind of Looney Tunes.
For me, like you started out, it has like an Edgar Allan Poe feel to it.
Yeah.
But to me, like, the ending was just like a Hitchcock twist.
No, I would say
okay.
more. I would say more like M. Night Shyamalan. It was like, if you think about it, it was a little predictable.
It's predictable in the way that you knew that it was going to be something different once you got to the top. What I didn't predict, that it was a mental institution.
Yeah.
So that part was the surprise. Now, on these awards, I looked at all the awards they won, and I thought, okay, what made this an award-winning short? And that was my problem. I'm going, really?
I agree with you.
Are we shorter shorts?
It definitely wasn't part of the set, because I swear part of the set was certain scenes were completely green screen.
Yeah, I agree. Some of the green screen was done actually not too bad.
True.
For a short.
Yeah. The parts that I thought were the worst was within the guy who looked like he was from the Middle Ages. The background on him did not blend well to me.
Yeah. I'd give you that.
It was, like I said, it was really odd. I mean, the wounds on that guy was odd. There were just certain little oddities to this thing, and almost too predictable in some ways, and a complete surprise in others.
The thing I enjoyed was the dialogue between the two.
Yeah.
The dialogue between the two main actors, and unfortunately, I just kind of thrown out a guess because Julian Agnew and Phil Barley, Robert Gray are the only ones that really, and there's no pictures. So.
Right.
Two out of the three that I just named did really well with their dialogue.
Or maybe there was a third guy that just didn't include.
And I think that's really where most of the time was spent on the film. Mm-hmm. There's just the dialogue between those two, because even the doctors, the doctor that grabs him, I think his delivery was okay. But wasn't much to it. And then the nurse that took over for him really didn't. I think it was just kind of like she was shocked.
The doctors were a little stiff.
Okay, what time period do you think the doctors came from? I was thinking the 20s.
I'd say around that period. I'd say plus or minus.
Probably give it closer to 60s.
Oh,
I want to go.
I thought it looked way older than
definitely
that.
Not. Definitely not now.
I'd say between 30s and 40s.
I'd have to look at that. But
if I think about it, having them wander around like they do, you're probably closer to the right around the 20s, because they treated the patients like that back then.
Yeah, and to me anyway, that was the feeling. So you went from this guy's, I don't know what period of time he was supposed to be from.
Which one? The Middle Ages guy or the other guy?
not the modern guy. The
Middle
other
Ages guy.
Because the medieval
Was that
ages-
medieval
because that was
times,
the
whatever.
only time
But the
period I could think of. 'Cause
but
the
the
way he
fun
was
thing is
talking.
that both of them are from the 20s. That's the trick of the thing. Is that
Right.
the film that. So he's basically going off of what he read in books or saw in movies,
Right.
or talkies back in the 20s.
Well, obviously, they were both there at the same period of time. The paradox was, in some respects, is it looked like
In their
it
mind.
wasn't, that they weren't, but they really were,
Yes.
right?
No, totally. I
Yeah.
do wish they built up a little bit more of the Edgar Allan Poe, as far as the dialogue, like a little more, like stress.
Could have
when
had a
you're getting
crow
into it.
fly down the well.
Well, you know what I mean. They
Or you could hear. Dum, dum.
it didn't really build up.
Well,
To
they
me,
had
it
the
didn't-
dogs barking, is what it was.
That's true, yeah, they had the dogs.
I mean, to me, it didn't really build up. I mean, they could have done a little bit more in the atmosphere, even a little bit of background.
Sure.
Well, I
music,
think
you know.
even for a short, they were pushing it with only 14 minutes. Just staying
Yeah.
within the short period.
Yeah.
That's
That
a very
was-
short
so-
story to get what they, and I think they did their job actually as far as the script goes. I mean, they got it, and, they got it through.
They got it moving, and they got
yeah.
it. They got it to where you were interested, and you wanted to actually see what happened when he got to the top of
Yeah.
the well.
See,
you
I
know?
wasn't. I wasn't completely interested. I was more like, I wanted to stay to watch the end of it, but I was like, this dialogue's getting boring. They're repeating the same things a couple of times,
And that's why I
After a
think
while, it
that
was
he
like,
got to the point where whoever the writer or director was to move it along, get his butt up the well.
Well, and that was
That
the other
scene
thing.
was well
That
done.
guy was, I was thinking, now, could I have pulled myself up like that guy?
No.
I don't
couldn't have
think
done
I
it. That
could've.
dude was
Yeah.
buff, man.
That-
I mean, it
that-
was
Yeah.
hanging to get up like that.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it.
the little touch though, that, was really well. Was, when he was holding up and you had the scene with the blood.
Yeah, that was
That
nicely
was-
done.
It
It was an easy trick to pull, but
Oh,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
really well done for
was.
what it was.
Yeah.
It was a little. It was like an added. It was a plus.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So that's I kind of wanted this one because I wanted to move. I wanted to try to cover different genres in the ones that I picked, and this one for me was kind of like the drama suspense.
Okay. Suspense. I like that.
So on that scale, I gotta say, this one was actually hit the mark. But one of the things I always do about shorts is either did it sum it up nicely, or did it leave me wanting more. So those
Okay.
are the two ones where I give it a better
Gotcha.
score. And this one, it summed it up nicely for me. And I think it was a 3. There could have been so much more. I don't think it. I don't like you said, Rob. It won awards. I'm a little bit like on the fence of where you're at.
Yeah.
What were they up against?
Must have been pretty bad.
Because I enjoyed this one, but I don't think it was that high. So it really only gets
Halle
like a
Berry's
3
Catwoman, too.
for me.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough to push me over.
I agree. I'll go with a 3 for my pick too. It wasn't tremendous and it wasn't awful. I mean, in all honesty, it kept my attention. It was something to watch. I mean, I've seen a whole lot worse, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
and in much longer formats. So really,
Don't look at me. That's
Yeah.
all James's fault.
no,
Hey, talk to Ryan.
I think it was. What the heck? I kind of enjoyed watching it, and
This is
it
where
was
I have to disagree. I gave it a 2. The only reason why I kept staying with it is because I was really curious.
last week.
yeah.
No,
Take my place.
actually,
As the
honestly,
Russian judge today.
actually, I'm being fair. I didn't judge it that way, but I just, after a while, I was like, I wish they would hurry up. The dialogue wasn't interesting. It got repetitive. The background, after a while, got annoying. There were a few scenes
See,
that
the
they were
only
doing
thing
well,
that I would
but
have to
for
come
me,
back
it's-
to you on is because you don't. If we look at your history, you don't pick very many dramas or suspenses.
No.
So I think it's something that you're
So
not
it's not your
interested
style
in.
that you would normally
Yeah.
pick.
Would you say that? Just putting it out there. I'm not saying that.
Probably a little
I'm not trying to
bit.
defend it. I'm just saying.
No. Probably a little bit, but overall, it just didn't hold my interest. But I'll agree, dramas aren't generally my thing. But
Yeah.
when I pick a drama, they're generally good.
Yeah. Didn't you pick? You picked one a long time ago. It was a black and white one. I'm trying to remember what one it was.
Oh,
Anyway.
young Mr. Lincoln.
You picked that one and another one. Anyway.
I
So
think,
I'm gonna move on
yeah.
to.
So wait, John.
I give it a
decided
2 out of 2.
huh?
Oh yeah, you gave it 2. So 3, 3, 2.
Which one do you shift to?
I'm gonna go to closer. I want to jump on this one. Now this one for me, it was me moving into like a sci-fi thing, and this one, This one, I picked it for certain reasons, but I'm going to let you guys start on this
can
one
I-
because
can
I
I go?
expect I need to be on the defensive here.
I want
All right, because I've got something to say about it
I'm
too.
dying to say this
All
because
right, go
as
ahead.
I'm watching this, I'm saying I recognize this, I recognize this. So this is kind of what I think it's a mash of. It's Fire in the Sky, where a guy gets kidnapped by aliens. Metroid Prime, where you have a female protagonist named Seamus. I think that's her name. Enemy Mind, where you have this alien-looking creature. Ben 10, the cartoon, because of the guy's watch. And Independence Day, because you have all those aliens zooming towards Earth. So what do you think?
I think you missed Dark Angel.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
You're right.
You know what? Honest to God, I thought this script was written by a 15-year-old teenage boy. Because what does it start out with? Tits and ass. What's what are they
ended with it,
doing?
too.
I mean, that's what this movie was all about. Even in the beginning, when that guy in that suit jumped out with his shaft, well, I'll tell you, it didn't look like he was holding it. That comes out, and then he's holding
No
the
pun intended.
one girl's tits. Oh, okay, that's another skit. It had to be a teenage boy that wrote that thing.
Overall, it did remind me of Iron Sky, like that style comedy, like over the top comedy that's like seriously, taken seriously.
Now, the reason why I actually decided to go with this one, because I had better ones than this one.
I hope you did.
I did. But I wanted to do this one because of the fact that this, to me, is what the crap that is coming out of Hollywood. And it's showing the influence on these young guys. Now, the one thing that stood out to me was the clarity of the film that they used. Not the blue screens, not the CGI. None of that, but the clarity that they did was really nice. I got to say that.
Was this the
I
one that was
agree.
filled on the red? Or was
Yes, I think that did. When I read it, I think it was filmed with the red, and it was done very well. Whoever was doing the cinematography actually did very good. He said some really nice, we don't see as often, some really nice tight shots, and that we've gotten away from. The actress and the actor, they
were horrible.
Okay, they weren't horrible, but
They were horrible. It was like
you're talking about you're talking about the couple.
Yes.
Because the first thing I want to say is that the alien protagonist, the woman, had a very sky captain the world of tomorrow-esque look to her face.
Yeah.
I actually really liked the ship when it got hit. Something popped out and went back in its place. That was really well done. But the two worst people in this entire 20-minute thing was the two Earthlings.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was the guy in general, because the girl, it was a stereotypical kind of Megan
Like
Fox-ish.
I said, 15-year-old boy wrote that part of the
But
script.
honestly, the difference is this was the perfect time limit. The guy who wrote it realized that you can't make a 2-hour movie out of it.
Thank God.
And
So I salute you.
and that's the good thing.
I thought the space scenes were kind of cool. The spaceships were kind of cool.
Yeah, and that's really why I wanted to pick it, because there was other ones, but the cinematography wasn't on the quality that this one was.
Yeah,
Even though
I have to give him credit for that.
Even though the spaceships, the alien spaceship, remind me of tadpoles.
Oh yeah, well it's almost like you can buy you're going to do a film. Oh, I'm going to buy a spaceship to plug into it.
That's pretty much what it seemed like.
Yeah,
I bet they were doing a little, was it kit bashing, where you get different stuff, fitted together.
Yeah, I think it is, but that's okay.
No, that's
kind of
perfect.
told the story a little bit.
Yeah, but I gotta say though, I mean, I really want to. I don't. Let's see if we can figure out who did the cinematography. There we go. Diego Casciola, I think.
Well,
whatever.
Diego, you did a good job.
I gotta say, yes, you did a good job on that,
It
and
was
I thought that was
directed by-
really well done.
It was directed by Angelo Lasata.
Yeah, Angelo Lasata and Robert Peretti did the screenplay.
So is this a Spanish film? English? English?
Well, the director is the same guy who did the writing, and that's the thing that was kind of confusing, because I could tell that they were speaking English,
but they had accents.
but they had subtitles
Yes.
for the English,
Right.
And the aliens.
and they were talking in English. And unfortunately, they did have for the. I don't know if you guys watched the version I popped up.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And whoever did that on YouTube, you're fired.
Yeah. It wasn't very
You are
good.
so fired.
But it was kind of curious, huh?
Yeah.
I did wonder where it was filmed at and where.
Yeah, I think this one was South America. is what it seemed like it came
Okay.
out of.
But I got to give
Good credits.
this one, at least to me, it didn't take itself too seriously, which for me, I got to add.
That was the other
Thank
thing.
God.
I got to add some points to it because
Right.
it was funny, it was amusing, it was got kind of tight. You know,
They didn't take themselves so serious.
The one thing that shocked me was grabbing the alien's boobs. It's like the first thing that's
15-year-old boy. I'm telling you.
At first, I wasn't sure if it was a girl or a guy. Honestly, I
did
thought it was
kinda-
kind of a pretty girl.
She
a
did
pretty
kinda-
guy. I mean,
Yeah, she
did
was a
kind of
pretty
look like
girl,
an
too.
anime character.
yeah, that's
She
kind of what
did.
it was.
A little
And-
androgynous.
And whoever did the makeup job on her, I mean, I don't know if that was her original pale look or what,
Some of
but
it,
it was
had to be
actually
some
nice.
of it had to be CGI just because the way it had that like
The
sky
eyes
captain
and stuff,
glow.
yeah.
Yeah, but
But either way, it was a pretty
cute.
decent looking character to throw in there. But I gotta say, you know, it was like what John was saying. It was like it just took a bunch of different sci-fi ideas, threw them in a blender,
mixed it up in a bag.
threw some crap in there,
let me-
mixed it up,
Can I
and
read-
drank it.
Can I reread my list?
Go ahead.
So,
Gotta add Dark
Fire in
Angel.
the Sky, Metroid Prime, Enemy Mine, Ben 10, ID4, which is Independence Day with Will Smith, and what was that?
Dark Angel.
Dark Angel. Yeah.
So there's
So-
probably more, but I think they ran out of time.
So, like I said, you know, I only really picked this one for how well the cinematography was done, and basically what John always throws in there, color palettes, things like that, was enjoyable to me. It was a very crisp, clean-looking film.
It really was.
And
The only down part that I saw was the alien when he turned back into his lizard guy. It was
Yeah.
too dark. And
That was my main complaint,
Yeah.
actually, because it was so dark that some of the scenes were just. This isn't the right description, but like washed out. It
Yeah.
was so
Yeah.
dark.
Right.
It was really hard to get a really.
And
good
I'm not
look
sure
at
if
this.
that
And other than
was. I'm not sure if that was just the YouTube quality or if it was the cinematography. I kind of
because
think it
so
was.
much
It
was
could've
so
been-
good.
Yeah.
So much was so good. It had to be there
YouTube.
on their end. Well,
I was thinking a
I
couple
don't
of
think
things
so. I don't think it was YouTube.
because I'm thinking a couple things that could be. I guarantee it's mostly there on their end, but YouTube does compress things. I think even if you do
True.
it at like the 1080p setting, I still think it looks
Yeah.
a little kind of crunch.
Yeah, but still, I
Anyways.
thought overall the picture quality was very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, like even with that, I can't go anywhere over a 2.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Wow,
if
see,
I
I
was
think-
going to pick
wow.
the cinematography,
Alone.
I would give this thing maybe like a 3 or 4.
Right.
But off the story, the acting, the plot, everything just it's too many negative
See,
points.
I'm giving this the old Reddit switcheroo. I give it a 3 out of 5 because I was amused.
See, like I said, you are more of a fan of sci-fi than drama.
Oh no, totally.
And what I'm a sci-fi fan too, but unfortunately, because of the things that we talked about that I think were the downside, a 2 is all I can give it as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's mostly for me, it's script.
Yeah.
They could have done a much better job with the script because the cinematography was great. You know, some of the tight shots, some of the stuff they did was really good, but unfortunately, it's a 2 for me.
Yeah, so this is basically like the first one I picked, Paradox, but basically kind of they flipped it where the script was horrible.
Yeah.
and the cinematography was well
good.
done.
I would say the one thing is I would be unlike Paradox.
I
I'm
didn't give a
actually
description.
thinking that this one would have been aimed for a younger than us.
Yeah.
That's kind of the feeling
Well,
I got.
I just
to. I
realized-
just wanted to say that.
I think you're right.
Because I think
15-year-old boys.
Well,
Yeah.
I just realized I didn't even do the description on this film, so let's just jump and do that for the audience out there watching.
Okay, give
what
it
the
a
hell are
description.
they watching?
If you guys hadn't picked it up by what we talked about, something terrifying is happening to the Earth. Luke and Sarah, unaware of the danger, are just worried about having a passionate offhand camping weekend. 2 unexpected guests will ruin their plans. So,
Which
there you go.
which by the way, the best part of the whole thing was that sign they placed in front of it.
Yeah,
No camping and no fire.
Fire.
And what did they have? They had a camp and he had a
No,
fire.
no, he was getting the fire.
That's
Yeah, he was
right.
getting the fire when he got distracted by boobs. An alien, I guess.
That's
I
funny.
love the fact that he grabbed the alien's boobs and the first reaction wasn't to whack.
It was the don't tell my girlfriend.
I was expecting some.
And maybe that's right. Maybe this movie is set to the 15-year-old male.
It probably is.
And, you know, they would find that cool.
Now, can
Yeah.
All right.
can we switch to my favorite one?
The one that I picked.
Yeah.
There better
Well,
be
well,
one that you
that's
picked.
what we're doing. We only had 3.
Yes.
We've done 2.
Yeah.
now.
I'm trying to move it along a little.
Okay, so Project Arbiter is what it is.
What the hell?
It's just a cat. Anyway, so I actually will read the
Go ahead,
description
read the
off there.
description.
This is a pretty good one. A soldier with a mechanical suit must defeat Nazis before they
Mm-hmm.
spread a virus. So that pretty much sums this one up. And again, sorry, Rob, for picking two shorts that have subtitles, but I thought they were fitting in the place.
Can I go
in
first?
this
Yeah.
case, it didn't bother me.
All right, so John can go first.
Let's
see if he
Go
does it.
first, John, then I can smack you.
Well, right away on this movie, I was really impressed because of the actual costumes. It was the costumes, it was the German language, the cinematography, and the few opening seconds I really liked. But it did remind me of an advertisement like the live action Halo commercials.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you get a game feeling out of it?
Yes, and the
It
thing
seemed like a
that
video game.
And the thing that did it was that face mask they put on with those red eyes.
Pretty cheesy, huh?
You know, I actually it was
Maybe for World War II,
it was
be okay.
it was cheesy, but it gave me this. I instantaneously liked it because of the Halo live actions. I really
Halo
liked this. I really really liked this. I did think that that hot knife.
Yeah,
that
it was pretty
definitely
cool.
has that video game feel to it.
But now the thing that bothered me was when he shoved it in the guy's basically lungs up into his
Right.
heart. How did he have smoke coming out of his mouth?
That's how hot that knife was.
That's what I was confused out of.
Here.
Answer this.
Which was a cool little thing to throw in.
Yeah, it was. What was the pilot?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
Did you catch that? Did
No.
you look at him at all? He looked like an ape.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to.
He looked like an ape.
It. I
And
don't
I'm
remember.
going, I mean, that was odd. And then, of course, I couldn't place the airplane. And then all of a sudden, this plane has guns.
It looked like a
Yeah.
Weird.
Was
I
it
don't
the
know.
Lightning too?
Yeah, I
Had
couldn't
Yeah,
figure out.
that esque, but it
Esque,
wasn't.
but
But
it-
they didn't make a bomber version of
No,
it.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was trying to
Anyway,
figure out what they were doing with the plane too.
plane
That
was
was,
a
that was the
little
other thing.
strange.
But you know,
But that's
for-
okay.
Yeah, it was
I'm
like a
sure they
P-38
couldn't
Lightning,
actually
wasn't that?
spend that much money on the
No.
B-52 or anything really good
Right.
for the era because, as you could tell by watching the film, they spent a lot of money on other things.
They
Oh,
did.
yeah.
The costumes were great.
It was
Yeah.
spot on.
I mean, really incredible. The set. the
I
set
was more impressed by how many different German costumes they brought into it. Now they only
Yeah.
really had 3 or 4
Like
American
different- yeah.
right.
costumes. I think there was only 3
Yeah.
or 4.
Yeah.
3 or 4. And
The only thing that looked a little hacky to me was the Nazi flag at the exterior ones. That
Okay.
looked a little weird to me,
But
but
still.
that was the only thing I could
But
pick
still.
apart that just
the
looked a little
general,
out of place.
general with a scar
Yeah.
and the white eye, and he was a great bad guy
Yeah.
for a short.
So did you know what gun he actually started off with? I was trying to figure that out. If it
yeah,
was
the
just
main-
one that they
it's
created.
a Hollywood gun.
The main protagonist, or
Yeah.
the main
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a complete Hollywood.
Yeah,
It's a
I
Hollywood
was
gun.
looking at him like, I don't think they had any that could
No.
fit this era that were even close to that. Because I was thinking of maybe.
It's obviously the guy that made the suit also
Yeah.
must have made the weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Anyways,
you know,
that's kind of where I was throwing it into.
I did love the fact you had this high tech, like World War era rail gun. Still needed the Panzerfaust. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like high tech weapon, rocket.
well, obviously the weapon couldn't blow up the tank.
Yeah.
And that's where it bothered me about the airplane coming in and then them shooting up the tank. I was kind of
Yeah.
like, really?
And I was thinking, like, I don't really think that even an airplane, the 50s, could have penetrated the German armor on the tanks in the front and top.
Actually, the top was one of the weaker areas.
I thought it was the top and the back.
The
top and the
back
back
end in particular,
was.
the
Yeah.
top was, and the P-51 Mustangs were famous for coming in and strafing the German tanks and,
Okay.
and stopping them.
Okay.
Yeah, they did. A
I
hell
was
of a
just
job,
curious
yeah.
because I know that the front was
Oh,
it
yeah.
would
You
have
couldn't
gone
do
through
it.
the front.
And I was going to say the one thing I think this movie did, this short did better than any of the other two, was it instantaneously gave you an atmosphere and a feeling.
It didn't
but
take long.
But
It didn't take
ex-
long to
but-
catch on.
and didn't explain it. Which
Right.
it could be the fact that everybody and their mom have seen thousands of World War II movies, so you instantaneously get the references. But
Could
to
be.
me, just seeing the Nazi and the doctor sit down together instantaneously felt like the atmosphere, the feeling, and that's the one thing that really gripped me at the beginning.
Yeah.
The interesting part for me too was the scientists realized that this was his machine of his making. However, he had a problem that he couldn't solve. The Americans obviously had.
Yeah.
So
Well, short term. not
Yeah.
long
Yeah,
term.
short
That
term.
was what you got
They
later
solved
in.
they solved the problem that he's been struggling with.
Well,
so
they
that
kind
was
of-
an interesting conundrum
Because
for
they
him.
did
Yeah.
say you only can do 39-second bursts, so it could be the fact that they realized you can only do 90-second bursts without it killing you or making you
Yeah,
sick.
whatever it was. But anyway, it was it was a kind of a neat twist on a World War II.
An age-old
thing.
story, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Because, everybody knows by now that, the Germans were experimenting with
Yeah.
different
Absolutely.
things and
Absolutely.
and trying to come up with, I can't think of the Wunderwaffe, which is like the wonder weapon
Yeah.
that
Right.
Hitler was
Right.
after.
I mean, you get games like Wolfenstein. You even
Yeah.
have Captain America. There's so much,
Yeah.
that fit into this. That's why one of the reasons I was thinking you instantaneously have the atmosphere.
So let's get into we've pretty much been discussing the story and the props and everything, but I think the one issue for me is the actual color palette of the cinematography. I thought was too dark for the outside areas. Inside the house, I think the color palette matched pretty well, but when you get out into like the open grassy areas
Yeah.
and things like that, it just seemed too dark and
I
gritty
think it
for
was
me.
the director's interpretation of what a World War II color film would look like.
Okay, that's
That's-
actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's what I felt. I felt it was that kind of esque look.
My major complaint. Sorry for cutting you off. was
Do it all the time. What's different now?
was I actually agree with James a little bit. Everything had a very earthy tone
Sure.
to it. The only part that to me that seemed a little weird was the grass. You had
Yes.
all these very earthy tones, very dark colors, and the grass was
remember the grass.
neon green.
Neon
yes,
green?
It was like
Alright.
it was bright. It popped. That
Maybe
was
they
the-
painted it.
There's a scene.
Well, I'm exaggerating a little, bastard.
There's a scene in Saving Private Ryan where they all get in an argument, and that's when Tom Hanks' character actually tells them where he was from to bring his team back together. There's that scene, and it's basically like this big old grassy area. They had a couple cows that were exploded and dead, and anyways, but that scene always stuck out to me because the color palette changed in that scene, and it always seemed off to me. And I think it was, Tom Hanks trying to make it stick out in your mind. But that's kind of what this entire film, the outside colors look like to me, and it just seemed off. Is that a zombie cow? So that's kind of where it seemed off to me, and
Yeah.
it just it made me think of that, and I was like, that for me, if it was longer than, I think this one was 16 minutes, 22 minutes, sorry.
Yeah,
22 minutes. I knew it was longer than the other ones. But that, to me, is why this film kind of seemed a little bit off to me.
So what do you?
Because
It
if I
left
had
me-
seen it longer, if I had been watching the film longer, the cinematography really would have bothered me.
Okay. I
The color
The
palette.
story could, or I was thinking the story could have gotten so much better that you were willing to forgive some of the very glaring things that bothered you.
You know what I felt like? I felt like it was kind of a comic book.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That was
Yeah.
the feeling, a comic bookish type of short.
Yeah.
And all right, we got to get into it because we've got to run out of time here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it a 3. I was entertained by it, and
Yeah.
it left me with some questions. I mean, even now, I think I might go back and watch it again because now I want to look more at certain scenes
Aspects.
again.
Yeah.
yeah. I want to see
Yeah.
that grass.
So,
Because that's the part that I remember sticking out the most.
Yeah, yeah.
So I could be completely wrong, but I don't think I am.
to me, this one, it left me with both feelings that I say is really what I look for in a short. It made me wanting more, but it wrapped it up nicely enough to where I felt like I had completed it. And this one, for me, even though the color palette would have bothered me if it had gone to a 90
2
minutes
hours,
or
yeah.
longer, I still give it a 4, though.
Good. Wow. Yeah.
I still think it deserves that.
So I was originally going to give it a 3. Then if James would give it a 4, then I actually have to agree. Because
Because James.
I wasn't
well,
making
no,
you.
no, no.
To
Here
give
it
it
came
a
come
4.
because I was arguing, trying to figure out what I was going to give it. Because I was going to give it a 4, but there
You know,
are a few things that really stick out to me.
And,
but
and it's
but I
back
have
where
to.
the half points would come in, and
Yeah,
we haven't had a chance to work on that, so I understand where you're coming from and totally agree with you.
I have to throw, but I have to throw in I enjoyed it point. Mm-hmm. So I have to give it. You're right. I guess an enjoyment point would really be a half. But I'll give it. I got to give it an extra 1 just because This really felt like a video game.
All right, so on that note, it brings us to the movie news that I was going to be bringing up for Ryan.
Wait.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind you, we
Facebook.
do have a Facebook page. If you hate us, like us, or do you think we suck, let us know. We'll read you on air and make fun of you. And
Maybe. We'll definitely make fun of you.
yes, and if you want, help us pause for the cause and help us continue. Real Flix reviews. Go to the Old Guy Tech website, and how about giving us a few bucks? Thank you.
Okay, so now, have you both of you seen Stephen King's classic It?
Yes.
No, I haven't seen it yet. I've been saving it.
I have
How
seen
you
it.
not seen it?
Because
so-
I hadn't seen it up to the point we're doing
Like
the
the
show, and I
Langoliers
refused to
better.
watch it because I knew we were going to pick it some point.
So Ryan really loves this film. It gave him a lot of joyful childhood memories.
Only
And
Ryan would.
Stephen King is coming back with It again. They're redoing
It
It.
too, or do
And no.
It
They're
rebooted.
doing It 1 and 2. They're breaking it up into a two-parter.
So the question is Curry back? 'Cause if he's not in
There's
it-
not enough information released on it
I
yet.
think Curry would really.
There's not even a
Well,
He's
time
getting a little
frame.
old in the tooth for.
No, he has to
And
be in
heavy.
it somehow.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I agree with John. It needs to have the main guy, and it doesn't. There's not enough released on it yet, so
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. But where did I have it? There we go. Okay, they're gonna break it up into two-parter, and it's gonna be done by Cary Fukunaga.
Okay.
And he's done True Detective on HBO is really what he's known for. I haven't watched the show. I don't know. If
I
it's any
haven't
good.
either.
Anyways,
I know of it.
but yeah, I did too. Actually, I'm gonna pull him up. I didn't actually pull him up. I should have done that. Anyway, so that's what we got so far. I didn't really know how much time we were gonna have. Dang it, I pulled up the wrong one.
Well, we're out of time.
Well,
Are we?
We're definitely running out of time. So I guess we'll slowly end the show. So the short Closer, I gave a
Doesn't do
3 out of
anything
5.
else.
James got a 2 out of 5, and Rob gave it a 2 out of 5. Project Arbiter, where apparently Hitler really hated, was a 4. I gave it a 4 out of 5. James gave it a 4 out of 5, and Rob gave it a 3 out of 5. And then on the one Paradox, I gave it. Wait, I think I wrote it backwards. Wait, no, never mind. I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Right.
James gave it a 3 out of 5.
Right.
Rob gave it a 3 out of 5. Stay tuned to our Facebook page on Monday on Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. We'll tell you. Ryan will tell you what one we're doing. I think-
Hopefully, Ryan will tell us which one we're doing.
if not, well,
We'll smack him.
Nah,
if not,
he
you're
will.
gonna find out when we do.
He'll do it. He'll do it.
So as always, thank you for watching.
Nah.
Thank you.